Sir, good evening. Yes, sir. வாங்க வாங்க. லைவ் இல்ல?
Yes, sir, we are live. We have seniors, Dr. Ex-President, past President Dr. K. Venkatesh, sir, here. Welcome, sir. We also have PRC, sir, if I'm not wrong.
Dear Somasundaram, sir, I have joined.
Sir,
Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening, sir.
evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, good evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Elizabeth, madam. Good evening,
Madam,
madam.
good evening.
Good evening.
8:50 we will start, sir. We have 26 participants and few on YouTube also.
Will do, sir. We'll start at 8:50.
Secretary of IAP.
I think we can start.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, madam.
Subbu, sir, we can
Yes,
start.
sir, we
Yeah.
can start.
Good evening. Good evening.
A very good evening to everyone. A warm welcome to all seniors and colleagues and friends on this very important topic that we are planning to discuss today is on complementary feeding. It is indeed very appropriate that uh, we have two senior professionals, two senior teachers of teachers here to guide us through this, Dr. K. Elizabeth and Dr. Somashekar. On behalf of IAP Chennai City branch, I'd like to welcome both of you for this program. And I'd like to welcome every one of you for taking a time off on a evening post your work to join us on this important topic. I would like to welcome our president, Dr. Somasundaram sir, to first give the presidential address. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Subbu, sir. So at the outset, I would thank Elizabeth, madam. So I approached her a few days ago for the webinar, madam. So this is the first time we are hosting you on our platform at IAP Chennai City branch. So thankful to you for accepting my invitation to be part of this complimentary feeding day celebration. And as part of complimentary feeding day celebration, so we have planned a few activities like in Anganwadi Center, which was planned by our EB member, Dr. Tambarasi on the same day, that is 6th February, June. And one today was conducted by Dr. Vindhya in one of the hospitals to the mothers, to mothers with the young infants. She had planned with for about 25 mothers were assembled, and she has elaborated them on the complementary feeding. We have few other things also which will be elaborated in the next few minutes. And Dr. Somashekar sir, so he is our own leader, and he was the past president of IAP Chennai, past president of IAP Tamil Nadu. He gives a helping hand to us all the times, and he was the past secretary, national secretary of IUCF chapter also. And we have a lot of dignitaries and many academicians on this platform, Professor PRC sir, Dr. Venkatesh, our past president, and many of our EB members also have joined us. I think this session by Professor Elizabeth Madam, who is then well known in her field of nutrition, and I myself during my PG days in 2003 has read her, is used to read her books only on nutrition, and which has given me this elaborate knowledge on nutrition. So, without much ado, I invite Dr. Tambarasi to give an introduction about Dr. Elizabeth ma'am, and then we'll start the session by Elizabeth ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, my respected teachers, mentors, and my dear colleagues. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar on complementary feeding, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Ma'am, HOD and Pediatrics in Mohambiga Institute of Medical Science, Kulashagaram, Kanyakumari. We all know about Ma'am. She's a renowned pediatrician, educated researcher with exceptional academic and clinical experience in childhood nutrition and development. She has been actively involved in educating the healthcare professionals and parents on importance of timely and appropriate complementary initiation of complementary feeding by evidence-based approaches. Her contribution to the field is vast in pediatrics and child nutrition. She has almost contributed to 13 prominent chapters, and she's a recipient of 14 prestigious awards. Today, we are privileged to have Ma'am to share her invaluable insights on complementary feeding, which is the cornerstone for child health and development. With a deep expertise and passion for pediatric nutrition, we are sure we are not going to gain only knowledge, but also inspiration from Ma'am to deal with pediatric nutrition and development. So on behalf of IAP CCB branch, I would like to thank once again Ma'am for accepting our invitation to be a part of the celebration of IAP CCB Complementary Day celebration. Thank you, Ma'am.
Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for the kind words. So, Dr. Somasundram, Dr. Subramanian, Dr. Nisha, Dr. Vishnathan, I can see so many stalwarts here, and senior IAPians, faculty members, and dear students. It's a great pleasure to be in the midst of you on this auspicious day, doing complementary feeding, which is very close to my heart. So this time, you have asked me to talk on the theme. Actually, the theme has come from IAP. That is the great thing. Previously, IAP used to say that any day in November can be complementary feeding day. And we used to fight that because in November, we have Children's Week, Children's Day, Newborn Week, Newborn Day, Adolescent Day, etc. And complementary feeding used to get drowned in it. And then, as IYCF members, Dr. Somashekar and many of us proposed that 6th day of 6th month should be observed as complementary feeding day because that is the weakest link in child or infant nutrition. And this time, they have given the title also, that is the theme, timely, adequate, safe and active feeding for all children. And that is for optimum growth and healthier tomorrow. And I have coined another theme when we propose this, that is C for GDP. That is complementary feeding for growth, development, and prosperity. The same thing has come this year from IAP also. So when we look at the global scenario of complementary feeding, worldwide it is the bottleneck in infant nutrition. The minimum meal frequency is met only by 48% of infants 6 to 23 months. Minimum acceptable diet is there only in 17%. And minimum dietary diversity is there in 27%. The corresponding NFHS 5 figures are 35 instead of 48, 11 instead of 17, and 23 instead of 27. So where are we standing? We are even behind the global statistics. So this is an eye opener to us. And this is the same thing. That is the NFHS 5 data in comparison to the global scenario. Actually, the textbook description of complementary feeding is, it is the systematic introduction of the right type of food at the right age in order to meet the nutritional demands of the baby. So they have not said what is the right age. They didn't say what is the right food. They only said it should meet the nutritional demands of the baby. So we have done some research, some studies, and we have come to all these. Now we have answers. Actually, this is the bridge that the mother has to make between liquid to solid diet. And the bridge should be made strong at the right time, and it should be supported on 3 pillars. The first pillar is continue breastfeeding till the baby is safe on the other hill and the growth and development, substantial amount of growth and development has happened. That is first 1,000 days of life. That is second birthday. And then the thrust is on protein, which is vegetarian source as well as animal source. So these are the 3 pillars on which the mother has to make this bridge strong. Then still some children are falling into the pit of malnutrition. So a safety net has to be made. What is the safety net? The safety net is in the form of supplementary feeding. What is that? That is the Anganwadi and or ICDS is giving Satuma take-home rations. In Kerala, it is called Amardam Mix. So they are entitled to get 300 kilocalories and 15 gram of protein per child per day for 300 working days. That is supplementary feeding. In addition to what the mother makes, the bridge and making it stronger. But many children are not the beneficiary of the take-home ration. They are going to paid Montessori schools. So what is the safety net for that children? That is group eating. Some mothers bring back the child home and try to feed. Then they won't feed. They will rebel and meal time becomes battle time. So as far as possible, whenever a baby is going to a nursery or a creche, the child should eat there and come. Group eating is wonderful experience for them. And some, especially the doctors' children and all, they won't go to there also. They have nanny, their own nanny, they sit at home. So for them, it is Akshaya Patra. That is, whatever is available in the family. We are cooking round the clock in the kitchen, no? So whatever is due for the baby or whatever is developmentally okay for the child should be given. That is called small frequent feeds. So we have to make the bridge, make it strong, and put the safety net. And why at 6 months? If it is too early, it will replace exclusive breastfeeding that we don't want, because breastfeeding is for lifetime. It is for growth, development, emotional well-being, immunity, and to prevent future diseases also, like NCDs. Then whatever we give is a low nutrient diet. There is increased chance of illnesses. There may be difficulty in digesting. It may get contaminated. And exclusive breastfeeding gives some protection against next pregnancy. But when it is dual feeding, it is not happening like that. Okay. If it is too late, the child does not receive nutrients, growth and development will slow down. There will be risk of deficiencies. And if you introduce certain food very late, they will develop likes and dislikes. For example, some teachers say they have to give egg and milk to school children. But many students say, I don't want egg because it is smelly. So the teachers give banana. But how can banana match egg? Egg has got 39 nutrients. And banana is mostly starch and glucose, sugar, no? And fructose and all. So that is it. So at 6 months, we know that breast milk cannot support full growth after that. 67 kilocalories per 100 ml is not going to support growth. So what we should give is 80 to 100 kilocalories per 100 ml. But when a mother is diluting it and giving it in a feeding bottle, it is only 30 kilocalories per 100 gram or 100 ml. So that is something which we have to educate them. It should be 80 to 100 kilocalories. And the stomach capacity we know is 30 ml per kg, but they can only hold 20 ml per kg because there should be space for digestive juice, air, churning the food, etc. And even in the situations where we give SAM feeding, 22 ml per kg is what we finally reach. So we have to make it very thick and nutrient dense. It is a semi-solid between liquid and solid. We can make it healthy by adding healthy oil, ghee, butter. And here I must say that the smartest child we can pick up from Epic is Sri Krishna. No? His main food was milk products. And then malting and germinating. It should be screen-free time. It should be responsive feeding. And that is called active feeding. And it should not be a forceful feeding. And the consistency should be just right, not loose enough to fall off from the spoon. And this is something what I said, that is at 6 months, breast milk cannot support full growth and the growth and development. So there is a gap coming from 6 months. But still, see, in the second year of life, breast milk is still providing 31% of energy, 38% of protein, substantial amount of bioavailable iron, 45% of vitamin A, and 95% of vitamin C. So this is something which we have to tell the mothers so that they continue breastfeeding in the second year also. And why 6 months? Because we are looking at developmental and behavioral readiness for the complementary feeding. Head control the baby has. Now the gut is mature, and if by 6 months the amylase matures and baby can split up a protein into amino acids and absorb. And no amino acid is foreign to us. No amino acid is an allergen to us. But in leaky gut, a peptide, partly digested protein may be absorbed, and that can sensitize the baby. And now the baby is showing interest when others are eating. And they have control of the tongue. And they have up and down munching movements. And their kidneys are now ready to handle protein. And in addition, they can sit up. Now they have hand to mouth coordination. Pincer grasp is coming, all these things. So in stage 1, that is 6 to 8 months, we give a pureed food, which is very soft. We may even sieve it and give. Up and down munching is only there. They don't have the teeth also at that time. Teeth are really coming. After that, it can be just mashed with hand or with a spoon or fork. And it is called lumpy food. Now they can bite and chew. And then it should be textured food. Whatever is like that. For example, a guava, we can give it like that to them because now they have rotatory chewing movements and stable jaw. And you should not go to the supermarket and see what I can give to my baby. We should look at in our kitchen, search in our kitchen. And first we make the puree, and then we make the lumpy, and then we make the textured food, and then we go for the family pot feeding. And we say no added salt and sugar. Why no added salt and sugar? Why is it? Because they don't have the taste buds. They have all the taste buds there, and taste buds are more than us because their tongue is small, and per square centimeter of tongue, more square buds are there. And which is the taste which is at the tip? It is sweet. So if you start giving sweet, they will get a liking for sweet, and finally they end up with obesity. And then the next is salt. So they have a liking, they will develop a liking for that. And sour and bitter are back. They say that poisons and unwanted things are bitter. So that is why that is not kept in the front. No added salt and sugar in the initial phase of complementary feeding. Added salt, I'm telling, added sugar. When we go for family pot feeding, it can be in moderation. Sodium is present in most of the food items, and kidneys are immature to handle so much of sodium. And sugar addition and chances of obesity. And the guidelines say that not more than 5% or maximum 10% of the energy should be coming from sugar. That is, if I am taking 1000 kilocalories for a 1-year-old baby, 10% will be 100 calories. And we know that 5 gram will give 20. So 1 teaspoon will give 20. So 100 calories means 20 into 5 teaspoon. But if you are giving 2 teaspoon per feed 4 times, it becomes 8 teaspoon. So that is why we say that let them be trained with the original texture. But they have to adapt to the family pot feeding. That is my take on it. And first we eat with our eyes, then with our nose, we smell it, and then the texture we see, and then we taste it. So it should be attractive to the baby. These are some of the things that we make for our grandchildren. And what we should not do is that non-indulging. See, the baby is left with the food and the baby is playing with it. Then see, during COVID time, ignoring the baby, and they are working on the laptop, but the baby is given a feeding bottle or force feeding. So all these will lead to picky eating and future problems. It should be a happy time with the family members, and family members should be uh, having a happy time. There should be interaction, and the family members should be role model for them. And babies should have a seat. Nowadays they don't have a seat. They eat in the living room, watching the TV. They should have a seat, and the alignment should be 90 90 90. That is, the hip should be 90 degrees, the knee should be 90 degrees, and the angle should also be 90 degrees. And then the next question, how early egg and animal source food can be introduced? Actually, as per WHO, any time after 6 months of age. And both egg yolk and white contain protein, less in yolk. So my take is that if as the baby may not finish one whole egg initially, yolk can be started followed by white. And as per current evidence, early oral challenge will lead to immune tolerance and not more allergy. There is no question in postponing, but after the leaky gut is gone. So now there are even studies telling that from 4 months it can be started, but all of us should speak the same language. So it should be after 6 months. And eggs should be well cooked to avoid anti-nutrient avidin against biotin and salmonella infection. If not introduced early enough, baby may develop likes and dislikes and may reject egg and animal source food. And clear instruction should be given to avoid junks, processed food, packet food, and the sugar sweetened beverages. And fruit should be given as such. They should know what is the taste of an orange, what is the taste of watermelon, like that. And the fiber, the benefit of fiber also should be there. So how to fill the gap? As in the first slide I said, we are not meeting minimum meal frequency, minimum acceptable diet, and minimum dietary diversity. So what are all these things? So minimum dietary diversity is 5 out of 8 food groups. The first and the foremost food group is breastfeeding. And then energy food, that is the grains, roots, tubers, etc. Now WHO says that grains, roots, and tubers should be given less priority because children need protein to grow. They need micronutrients. Energy will anyway come. And so energy food should be the thrust. And what are the protein food should be the thrust. What are the 4 protein groups? One is legumes and nuts. Many children are getting 0 legumes and nuts. We can powder it and add it to the semi-solid, or even we can grind it and then add it, soak it and grind it. Then egg. And egg is kept separate from meat group. WHO has now done it because the egg that we get from the poultry farm, if we are not using it, it is unfertilized and it cannot give rise to any life. No chicken will come out of that. So it will go rotten. So they say that it can even be called, it may not be called as a non-vegetarian because it is no life there. And vegetarians are there, those who take eggs. So it is being promoted. 39 nutrients are there. And if you add little vitamin C, some lemon juice also, it becomes 40 nutrients. And what is lacking is carbohydrate. That's only one which is lacking in it. And then meat and fish. And then milk and milk products. So milk and milk products, I already said, Sri Krishna's story. No, butter, ghee, paneer, all are rich sources of energy and good fat and good protein. And then green, yellow, orange, red vegetables and fruits, that is mainly for vitamin A. And then the leafy and dark vegetables and fruits. So these are the 7 food groups other than breastfeeding. At least 5 food groups should be reached starting from 6 months onwards. And then what is the minimum meal frequency? Here, children are divided into 2 groups, breastfed and non-breastfed. Previously, we never used to have this distinction. Many mothers tell us, my baby is not breastfed, but we never give them any, we never used to, at least I never used to give them any special advice, the usual advice I give. So in breastfed babies, minimum should be 2 meals, 6 to 8 months, and it should be increased to 3 meals by after 9 months. And 6 months to 23 months, non-breastfed babies should be getting minimum 4 meals. And then we say a toddler feeding 5 food groups, 5 colors, 5 times. And meals can include meal as well as snack. This is from WHO. And what is minimum acceptable diet? Again, MAD when it comes, it is divided, the children are divided into breastfed and non-breastfed. So breastfed children receiving minimum dietary diversity and minimum meal frequency will be included as receiving minimum acceptable diet. When it comes to non-breastfed children, they say that 2 milk feeds should be given. In fact, breastfed babies do not need milk as a drink, but they can be given milk and milk products. But here, 2 milk feeds has to be given. And we can start. And what is the quantity of the milk feed? 20 ml per kg. That is a full milk feed. And globally, we will be rated according to the IYCF indicators. There are 6 indicators. The first 6 indicators are with respect to breastfeed. And the starred ones are the ones which were added on in the last revision. See, now we have to have one IYCF indicator like this. Exclusive breastfed for the first 2 days after birth. Why 2 days? We first used to ask within an hour. Then we ask, is your baby breastfed, exclusively breastfed for 6 months? Now they are asking, ever breastfed? Was your baby ever breastfed? Is it early initiation? Is it within 2 days? Because first 2 days, because of various reasons, that is very less milk will be coming, and some babies are high risk babies at risk of hypoglycemia. So some supplement may be given. That is acceptable. But by two days, by the second day, they have to be on EBM or direct breastfeeding. And when we give EBM, if it is with a mechanical pump, the microflora is changing. And the gut flora will be best for the baby, as asthma, allergy, autoimmune diseases, all will be less if the microflora is good. And that is within 2 days of birth, what is going to colonize. And hand expression means the mother's healthy flora will be going to the baby. If it is mechanical, nowadays there is a lot of concern that it is altering the microflora. And then mixed milk feeding. So this is another indicator. And it will be, the questions will be, was your baby given any animal milk or formula in addition to breast milk on the previous day? That is the question they get. Continued breastfeeding into 12 to 23 months. That was already there. And the next 6 indicators are on complementary feeding. That is introduction of semi-solid at 6 to 8 months. Are they meeting the minimum dietary diversity? 5 out of 8 on the previous day. That is what? Minimum meal frequency. That is 2 times in breastfed initially, then 3 times and 4 times in non-breastfed. And minimum milk feeding in non-breastfed baby. So this is an indicator. This is what we never used to advise them. Where is the protein and the good quality calcium going to come if they are not breastfed? So we have to accept this, that non-breastfed can be given formula or bovine milk. Formula, if we give, they tend to dilute it. They tend to contaminate it. That is why WHO is telling in resource limited settings, we can even go for undiluted cow's milk. Minimum acceptable diet, how many are getting? Then egg and flesh food given on the previous day. Sweet beverages consumption, this is negative indicator. Unhealthy food, junks, zero vegetable or fruit in the previous 24 hours. And then bottle feeding, etc. So there are 17 indicators which all of us have to teach, and we have to practice, and we have to achieve. That is what. And the most difficult question is, what is the advice regarding complementary feeding in preterm babies? And I was also little reluctant about it, because a 28 weeker to reach 6 months corrected age will be 10 months. So I was also thinking, how can we keep a baby away from food when he is demanding, when people are asked, when I am taking ice cream or a fruit, my baby is asking, how can I say, Baba, you are not 6 months corrected age, so I am not going to give you. So now we have generated some data. This is with the help of Sri Ramachandra Medical College. As a PhD program, I was also one of the guides. So what did it say? Those who could wait till 6 months corrected age had better IYCF scores, no doubt. But those who started 6 months, before 6 months, had all wrong IYCF scores. And another thing is that anthropometric measurements were lower in the group who started early complementary feeding. Even body composition was better with in the 6 months corrected age. And that is according rapid growth and slow growth, we could differentiate. Even the milestones were better in the 6 months corrected age. But in spite of advice that let us wait for 6 months corrected age, many parents started before 6 months corrected age because they were not doing direct breastfeeding. So initially, if we could succeed in initiating the baby into direct breastfeeding, there is good chance that the baby may, the mother and baby may continue with the exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months corrected age. So that is the answer. If they can go till 6 months corrected age, that is the best. And how to enable them to do it is, when before we discharge from the nursery, we have to establish direct breastfeeding. That is the lesson we learned from this study. And we have to capitalize on the deep-rooted cultural practice, that is annapression, no? So at around 6 months, we do this. And so in Kerala, we have started a new move The hospitals are celebrating half birthday, and whichever baby is around the half birthday, there will be a big photo shoot, there will be a big sadhya being made, and the parents and the baby will be given the food. So at home also we can promote it. Let us capitalize on this deep-rooted cultural practice. And then a mandatory visit should be there at 6 months. We have to talk to them about complementary feeding, growth, development, special vaccines, etc. And so now I say, call them at 6 months and talk for 6 minutes on 6 attributes of complementary feeding. That is fatwa. Actually, fatwa is an explanation of a rule. So we can teach like an explanation of a rule, why and what. F stands for frequency, that we have already said, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, etc. And amount, that is half cup to 3/4 cup. I always say, start with 10 ml per kg and reach 20 ml per kg. So amount is also, we can easily tell them. Then what about the texture and taste? And we should not take the mixer grinder, because the mixer grinder doesn't know the age of the baby. It will grind every day into the same type. So that we have to tell, the baby has to go from puree to lumpy to textured food. So as age advances, we have to change. And the taste also I have said. And then variety, that is the 8 food groups. And it should be responsive feeding, eye-to-eye contact, proper seat for the baby, and not ignoring the baby. And of course, hygiene, we have to tell. And here, I must say that this is the plate which all of us have seen, the grains, the protein, the fruits and vegetables and all. Now, I am proposing another plate, which is an improvised plate. So I say you go anti-clockwise. That is vegetables maximum and 1 fruit only a day, because fructose and the fatty liver are all interlinked, and lot of sugar we don't want. So vegetables should be majority of your green salad. You can add a little bit of fruit. Maybe if 4 people are sharing, then 1 apple can be cut and put it in 4 bowls. That is all. Next day, 1 orange can be put. Like that, we can rotate. And so our vegetables and fruit should be 50% of the diet. This is, let us practice it for the children also. Then we used to go clockwise into the grains. Now I am telling you, go anti-clockwise. Your protein should be your strength. And what is the protein sources? We have the pulses, the nuts, the egg, fish or meat, and milk products, even the paneer and the cheese and all. So go to your protein. So take all the curries and then go to the grains. And the grain will be the last dish for you. And the dairy has been brought in, because water has to be there. And sometimes I say Pepsi Cola is not competing with Coca-Cola, it is competing with water. So children should have this sort of a diet and give the thrust to the protein. And then if you give them enough micronutrients, fiber and protein, most of it is done. And our body can synthesize glucose. Carb is not essential. It can be, sugar can be synthesized from amino acids and even fatty acids. That is it. And so my final message is that we have to think big and act big. And so what is big? That is those who are concentrating on breastfeeding and IYCF practices. I is for immunization and G is for growth and development surveillance. And with the help of the MCP booklet, we can do it. And the 11 visits we have to do. And 6 months visit is very, very important. And this is the rice giving ceremony or half birthday celebration that we are doing. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. And thank you for patient listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. It was very practical. And as you very well told, if you want to become a big pediatrician, you have to be very well versed in breastfeeding and nutrition, immunization, and growth and development, because it's a day-to-day affair in every pediatrician's office chamber, right? So no mother walks out of your chamber less than 2-year-old child without the advice from you on growth, development, immunization, and nutrition. This is an everyday, day-to-day affair for an pediatrician, and I think this message from you on many practical things I have learned today from your lecture, madam. So why about the 40 nutrients in the egg and a lot of things I can recollect lot. I have taken few snapshot also to be shared in the group so that the people will also get benefited from your lecture, madam. Thank you very much for sparing your time amongst your busy schedule. I saw you went to Tirunelveli on Sunday by a road trip, and you had a lecture there also. And
Okay.
I know you will be hectic
Thank you.
practice in Mookambika also. So, but I think more than 90 to 100 people should have been benefited today with your webinar, few on YouTube and few on Zoom also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
madam.
Thank you. Without much ado, let's move on to the next topic on the next agenda. Our wonderful IAP CCB team has created a poster and a flyer for to be used by all pediatricians in their OPD. I would request Dr. Somasundaram, our president, to kindly declare this released. I will shortly project the same. Sir, can you say a few words about this? And
Yeah. So what we thought we had an EB meeting last week to decide on what are the things we are going to do for the complementary feeding day. We thought few things can be done for our we doctors, but the prime people will be the mothers and the field staff who will be getting benefited. So what we thought was we'll have some few programs in Anganwadi, few programs for the mothers in hospitals, and we also thought we should have a poster. We can design a poster and a pamphlet also. So we took the help of our EB members who are very well versed in community service, Dr. Tambarasi and Dr. Vindhya. So Dr. Vindhya has done this. So this is I think this is the pamphlet to be which can be given to every mother. So will be these are the various things like when to start complementary feeding. So adopted from UNICEF and WHO guidelines, how to start, what are the 6 points which madam has elaborated, the fatwa, which is the rule, and the texture and all, which madam how to increase, and foods not to include and food to avoid in complementary feeding. So this is an thing which was very well and timely designed by our EB member Dr. Tambarasi. Hats off to you, Dr. Tambarasi, for your silent work and on this. And
Thank you.
this will be shared to the pediatricians groups, and you can also share it, the soft copy of it, which can be shared to the parents. And one other thing will be a poster. So this poster will be a ready reckoner for parents who visits the clinic. So this can be taken in an A3 sheet, and this can be displayed in your OPD, which mothers can immediately have a look on that. And this was excellently compiled by Dr. Vindhya, EB member, and I this will be shared to the various WhatsApp groups. And if any IAP member wants a copy of the physical poster, you can send an WhatsApp message with your IAP number and your address to the WhatsApp number of IAP CCB. We'll be happy to share a hard copy of the poster to your residential or a clinic address. Yeah. Thank you very much to our team of EB members who are working with us day and night for the success of all the programs. Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful explanation. And it's indeed a great job by the IPCCB team, specifically Tambarasi and Vindhya. Thanks a lot. Let's move on to our next topic. And I would request Dr. Vindhya to kindly introduce our next speaker, the man himself who is our friend, philosopher, and guide. Sir,
Thank you,
over to
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, one and all. I see all my teachers and my colleagues here, including Dr. PRC sir and Dr. Chidambaranathan sir, who messaged me. He's also there. Thank you all for joining in. So it's my immense pleasure to introduce our Professor Dr. Somshekhar sir. So I have been associated with sir very closely. We have worked together at Balaji Medical College, and later on, sir got promoted as HOD at the Department of Mada Medical College. But we practice in the same locality. So I keep seeking advice from him, and he retired as a dean from Kanyakumari Government Medical College. He has been a active founder member of IYCF, and he keeps talking about nutrition, which is very close to his heart. He has held various posts in IAP, even the central IAP as a EB member, and the highest is being the vice president post of South Zone in 2022. He has many credentials, the important being the Best Doctor Award by the government of Tamil Nadu. And he's been a trainer, a home-based newborn care, IMNCI, IYCF, and human lactation management course. So he's been a trainer, and I think there is much more credentials to him. So I am sure he's going to break all the myths and misconceptions on complementary feeding. Thank you. Thank you to my team for giving me the opportunity. Over to you, sir.
Very good evening to all of you. It gives me a great honor and feel privileged to rather address to my home branch, which is very close to my heart. I think thanks to the president, I think Dr. Somasundaram, who is the frontier, who always takes the lead. Please allow me to share my screen.
So you can share, sir. It's allowed, sir. You can go ahead, sir. Thank you, sir.
To see my screen?
It's started screen sharing.
You have to double click to see the full screen mode, it says. You're not seeing
Able to see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Able
sir.
to see?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you can make it into full screen,
Full
sir.
screen, sir.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
slideshow mode.
Now it is a full screen. And Dr. Somasundaram has got a great, I think, passionate about what he is doing. And I wish him all the best for the next year. He is going to held the President 2026. I think no wonder that he is a man with wisdom and a vision. And thanks to the office bearers, Secretary Dr. Subbu, and the Treasurer Dr. Nisha, and the past President Dr. Venkatesh, and my teacher Dr. PRC, and Tambarasi, EB member, and all those who have assembled here. And it has been, always a great learning session from Professor Dr. Elizabeth Madam. I keep learning on every after presentation. Madam has just left with all the science behind complementary feeding. So what I'm going to say now, I think whatever I'm going to say today is what I have come across in my practice over 30 years. That is the great challenge which when you practice and talk to the parents, you come across, a lot of hurdles to overcome. The common questions which they arise out of their, all the, knowledge which they have among common ailments and things, so on and so forth. So this particular slide, I think Madam has already touched upon. To say that the global statistics in India, only 50% of the children between age 6 and 8 months at any time who receive a complementary food. So I think we have to strive hard to push this complementary feeding. I think this is the innovation, that wisdom and the novelty that earlier on a breastfeeding week, we celebrate and bring out pamphlets and posters and so on. I think really, I don't know. Today I am filled with, joy that my home branch, that is with the brain behind, Somasundaram, he has brought out a poster, which I think which all of us must probably display in every one of our clinic. This will be a great, I think, media. We can percolate this knowledge on complementary feeding to every every parents who come to your clinic. So let me just talk about, this is the most important slide, which I think so, because you can see the 78 number. The breastfeeding children between 6 and 23 months receiving an adequate diet is only to the tune of, you can see here, 21% as far as the NFHS4 data is concerned, which is just half of our, half only, that is 11.2% of our children. Total is 12.8% of the children only are receiving adequate diet. I think we need to probably spread and talk more knowledge on this complementary feeding and about adequate diet. And looking at the 80, number 80, you can see number 80, the total children, whether breastfed or non-breastfed, between 6 and 23 months, receiving adequate diet was 30% in number during the NFHS 4, which is half, almost only 16.3%. So I think we have to time for us to give a great push and thrust on this complementary feeding. With this small statistics, let me just talk about my subject today. So what are myths? Myths are the traditional stories passed down through generations. I think we keep telling stories, like, see, explaining natural phenomena or a cultural practice which are inbuilt, and the supernatural elements which every day we practice. And what are misconceptions? On the other hand, these are the commonly held false beliefs about something which are specific. For example, see, the colostrum which we take. My first 2 slides will be based on the breastfeeding, and the other 8 slides, that is, which I have brought out as a scenario, there will be 10 commandments, only 10 slides, which further I just wanted to talk about how to prevent it. That will be my focus. So both myths and misconceptions can be harmful, especially if they influence decisions or behaviors. See, the mother-in-law or a father-in-law or a father who play a deterrent role. However, the mother who is educated, the myths which are in their family is going to probably influence the decision among them. So coming to the facts and the myth and the facts, number 1, water should be given to babies along with breast milk, even at 6 months, because now it is hot summer. Even at 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, every mother who comes, like, see, asking you, sir, is it not that the child will be thirsty, will not, how to give the breast milk will be adequate? Can I give some sip of water? So this is a first and foremost myth which I come across every day. So only after completion of, you have to, within bracket, you have to say, after completion of 180 days, while on complementary feeding being introduced, water may be given, but certainly not before that. This is a very rule that each one of us must adore. So, and also scientific information that you can say, this is a liquid, breast milk contains 80% of the water. So this is enough to quench the thirst of that baby while on breast milk. Myths number 2 and the facts number 2. So colostrum should be discarded. Pre-lacteal feed like honey, gripe water, glucose water, cow's milk, donkey's milk. I think India, who lives on, practice here, knows that opposite to that school, which is being sold even today. So because they feel that this is the only thing which I think to be given before the lactation is being established. You can see in my area, I practice where the very particular sector of people are here. You can see in this picture, the mother who's just delivered, the baby is here besides, trying to give something which they're inbuilt in their traditional belief and the culture. So you have to say that to those parents that and the entire cultural family that it is a liquid gold, rich in nutrient like growth factors, lactoferrin, immunoglobulin, and so on, and never be discarded and to be administered frequently and to facilitate milk production as well as to prevent so on many diseases like NNF and so on. So this entire family members, when I taught them science behind, not colostrum, why it is important, they become my cheer leaders. You see, you can see their face, but like how cheerful they are. Once you teach them what is what, this is where we'll have to probably make them believe that what is what. This is very important. And fact myths number 3, the baby cries after every feeding, and the mother is told that her milk is insufficient by her sister-in-law, and she starts feeding cow's milk, especially during the nights. Like, see, she wants that because the mother who falls asleep and the baby who sleeps does not sleep at night, maybe the baby could, what is the fact? The baby cries for numerous causes. Sensitize the mothers to eat healthy and fully well. She will have adequate milk. Night feeding is essential because the 1 or 2 night feeds is mandatory to increase because the prolactin secretion is more and the surge is there. So, but every mother must be taught what is cues-based feeding, which is in the biological norm. So now earlier, we never allow the baby to cry. Once the baby is there, it is very difficult for them to, feed. But then you have to calm down. Then only we can make the baby to feed it. So the அழுத குழந்தை தான் பால் குடிக்கும்னு சொன்ன காலம் போய், we have to probably identify the cues. It is a cues-based feeding, which we have to probably tell every parents and the mother. Fact number 4. Complementary feeding should be initiated within 6 months with the pulse. Because every mother who comes, like, see, can I just start my baby giving just dal water or rice water like that? Even today, one mother was asking when I was telling that your baby is now 6 months, you can start giving rice, idli, pongal, everything's, the CPP, kanji, all those things I, have a preparation of that, I give it. But these mothers, what is the fact when these mothers, they ask these questions that can I give pulse, dal, water? So this is very, very incorrect because early initiation of complementary feeding before 6 months may lead to intolerance, which as madam has already told about that. So belief that exclusive breastfeeding is not enough and start feeding rice water right from 4 to 6 months. This is still existing in our society. So early initiation is very harmful, which does harm than benefit, we have to tell them. So this is one video with a courtesy to my daughter. So my grandchild was born on 22nd June 2020. And we started giving, like, see, he was made at 6 months completed. It was on just 181 days. He was just given a banana in his hand. You can see this, maybe you can call it as a baby-led weaning feeding. Once you start practicing this way, I think the baby will enjoy the food, which madam has already told that 90, 90, 90. You can see the end of it, it's a gag reflex. See, there's a protective reflex that the parents are really scary about. That we'll have to tell every parent that this is normal. And fact number 5, the animal milk has consistency similar to mother's milk, and instead of starting solids, they prefer giving cow's milk. Because in our community, we overemphasize the value of animal milk, and not only the milk as well as the excreta too, because this is there in their culture. So you have to tell the fact that animal milk is it's never say animal milk not to be given. It may lead to complications, anemia, and so on. Even bovine or formula milk, thanks to Madam Elizabeth who has added this, and after discussing with her, milk certainly are not recommended till 2 years of age. This was, I think, discussed in our panel too, madam. Thanks to that. So any thick consistency of the food, homogeneously mashed like thick paste, thick rice dal paste, it should be a porridge. So it should never be a liquid. It should be a thick paste only, then it is to be advised. And no, as you can see, it when you take in the spoon, it should fall like a tongue. This is the right consistency that we'll have to probably teach. And I'm glad that the poster also has this picture. Thank you. And fact number 6, what is it? The myth is that some mothers go for late introduction of the complementary feeding. So this is vice versa. Well, some of the mothers go for early introduction, some go for a late introduction, thinking that the breast milk will probably suffice and the weaning foods are indigestible. What is the fact? Because of the growing nutritional needs of the baby, it cannot be fulfilled through breast milk alone. So energy gap is widening. Though we need to give extra, protein, and you need to advise only what to give. You have given the, what 6 to 8 months, 9 months, 9 to 12 months, and more than 12 months. See, age appropriate complementary feeding, which is the need. So also late introduction of associated malnutrition, anemia, and so on. And next myth is juices are rich source of vitamins, and they only tolerate this. Can we give that as a routine? So not necessarily juice. Instead of juice, as a complementary food, you can give as a pulp, you can give a food, it can be mashed and been given. So myths and facts number 7. So juices are rich source of vitamins, which I have already said. The ends diet. So liquid meals makes up for never. Liquid meals is not going to make up for the complementary feeding, because the consistency matters, which I have told that while you take it in a spoon, it should form like a, tongue like. It should not fall too thin like. Okay. So again, packaged food provides enough nutrient to the child. Never. So these are the myths which still exist in our community as well as in our society. What is the fact? The processed and fact foods might have an additional vegetable, as you can see, because the pictures may be attractive, but they are not fresh and natural. So every parents must be misled. So you must educate every parent to read the labels. I think Madam Rekha Harris has made it a point that the when we do our workshop, she used to, always say that, who's I think made a real, who has gone to every school in and around in Delhi and made the school authority also not to sell any of these packaged foods inside the campus. And a diverse diet like meat, eggs, vegetables, fruits, and pulse should be introduced slowly, small quantity, in small quantity, slowly and steadily, one by one. Liquid thin meals make up for complementary feeding? No, never. They feel child would not gulp and digest, may vomit. So they tend to dilute. This is a fact, another myth. So fact is that complementary feeds needs to be thicker in consistency. So pulse water, pulses like water should never be. It can give like, the khichdi, uppuma, pongal. But many mothers, when we talk about giving these, they are not able to accept this. And again, the food in a society, which is also given in our Nelson textbook of pediatrics, being branded as hot and cold like that. These are the foods I don't want to mention and name it. I'll just go fast. And this is from the parental guidelines brought out by Dr. Piyush Gupta. Jaggery, spicy foods, mutton, chicken, papaya, eggs, brinjal. All these are, hot. It is false. In fact, children require all these items in their foods, provide very different nutrients. And eggs as a non-vegetarian foods are sometimes considered as harmful to the child, which many mothers, when we tell them that after end of 6 months, you can start giving egg, they are reluctant to accept it. Ghee, madam has rightly, I think, remembered. I always, in her talk, she says, as if the wisdom is there with Lord Krishna, he knew the nutritive value. He used to, he is stolen and eaten. So fact number 9, the parents feel that his child refuses to eat, so he spells turns his head away, keeps food long, and so they stop feeding. So my child vomits the food, so he stops feeding that. So food is not okay. This is very common myth every mother. ஒரு தடவை கொடுத்து பார்ப்பாங்க, கொடுத்த உடனே சாப்பிடலன்னா நோ, the food probably is not okay, he is not accepting it, அது பிடிக்கல, அது செட் ஆகல, அதுதான் common word they use. So relook into the feeding. He likes to play with the food rather. This schema is there. Even he has learned how to learn. So you have to teach them the learning of feeding. So he takes his own time. Parents need to understand it's a two-way process. Only it is based on cues based, not force feeding. Sometimes force feeding may lead to vomiting. Last fact number 9. My child must finish his food because he may be sometimes, like hungry. So much food. The food plate la போட்டு அப்படி ரொப்பி வச்சு பார்த்தாலே பயந்து ஓடிடுவான். So feeding, fasting and feasting are constant variables. Respect child choices. Feeding is a pleasure time, fun time, not a war time at any time. It should be a responsive feeding. You have learned quite a lot. So what I want to say, avoid. Nowadays, every baby is, while eating, yet mobile is in front. I think we must teach every parents that avoid screen viewing while eating. And rather, what we have, our father and forefathers, our grandfathers, grandparents have taught us, the storytelling during feeding, that is more important. So fact number 10. So my baby should take at least 1 glass of milk in the morning and evening daily to stay healthy. So animal milk is not recommended for breast. I mean, until 2 years, which I have already brought that it is not a special food. So no need for that. At any point of time, the working mothers may ask that until 6 months of age, they are not, taking the bottle. After once they start going, the working mother probably indulge in giving a bottle. That at any point of time, babies need mom made. You have to teach them, avoid bottle. It is a killer. And this is one of very good, many of the mothers, although they have in their hand the MCP cards, nonetheless, they go into reading this. I make it a point, I give this, Xerox copy of it to every parent who comes in contact with me. And during that 6 months, to what to be given at this point and 9 to 12 months and beyond that. So avoid junks. You can see this, hanging on to every shops which there are mushrooming now. There is, they are inclined to commercially available foods rather than what is being available, made at home. Even they are attracted toward this. So the addictive colors in them may cause allergies. It is our bound duty that we need to teach. It may be a long way to go, but I think we must have the spirit to probably tell every parents who come in contact. Avoid bottle feeding, marketed packets of fried savory snacks, which may be very attractive, which are very sugary food, sweets, fizzy drinks and colas, dal water, honey cause infant botulism. Junk foods, there are many probably, junk would probably make one funk. This is very important slogan. And this is one of the workshops which in IOCA workshops we made ourselves, that these are the drinks which how many sugars. See, you can see almost all these equally have got 30, almost 30 grams of sugar in one can. You can see. So how harmful it is. So the myths are many regarding time of initiation, what type of food to be given, and late introduction, late starting, and foods are not digestible. It is there in their mind, and whatever we give, it vomits. And of course, I think we need to probably practice this. Spend some more time when a mother who is working. Yeah, now I think the work from home is now probably withdrawn. Every mother started going to work. I think we need to teach the mother about working mother what to be done. And to sum up, remember that exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months and complementary feeding after completed 6 months, and not that we should stop breastfeeding, which should continue ad libitum until 2 years and beyond. And consistency and frequency of the meal changes with growing requirements, and food variety. Once you show the variety, that is the rule of fatwa. Madam has already taught us, and the healthy practice like hand washing to be taught and inculcated in every mind, and knowledge of food categories and their inclusion in the diet to overcome the myths for successful feeding. Give so much, it takes almost time, like I think the optimal, you need to probably practice, and the prevention of it is our responsibility. And myths are deep seated in our social and cultural beliefs, and we need to probably educate right from the antenatal, perinatal, prenatal, and postnatal education, the need of the hour regarding the breastfeeding mothers, and therefore every effort should be made to probably diffuse them and dissolve them. And public health education campaigns, now probably the awareness programs, which I think CCB taken the frontiers in bringing out this posters. I think this will probably help a long way in each one of our practice. And national health programs should emphasize on removing these myths. This is my, we talk about so many health programs. Myths about this should be emphasized in the national program as well. And healthcare providers, as got an important role to play in spreading this correct knowledge and change in the behavior of every mother. This is what we have been trying to do. And thanks to Dr. Sambasivam, right from post-retirement, he's been doing this in his hospital where he has retired. Yeah, till today. I think kudos to people like Sambasivam, who has been spreading the knowledge into the community about the myths and bringing out the facts. And the guidelines on the illness, during illness and after illness. Encourage every child to eat soft and favorite food during illness, and after illness, the appetite improves, and wait for that, the natural appetite to come. Give foods more often than usual. Encourage the child to eat more on his own. So, to conclude, beliefs and myths are ingrained in the minds of every mothers, which in turn influence feeding pattern of their infants and young children. So only by means of your communication, change in the behavior is the need of the hour, which we need to probably work. And this is a very famous and popular physician who's been, a functional medical expert, Dr. Mark Hyman. She's clearly said the power of, the community to create health is far greater than as a physician or a clinic or in a hospital, whatever, what we can do. So community probably spreading the message, making a community leaders to change, the break the myths and bring the facts is the need of the hour. And I'm sure together we can probably ensure a quality of care for our young mothers and babies, bring out the science and everything, what about complementary feeding. And thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks to IAP CCB once again, Dr. Somasundaram, Subbu and Nisha, and the EB members Vindhya and Tamba. Thank you so much. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very, very informative, sir. So most of them are questions which comes from mothers to the day-to-day pediatricians are these are the questions. So very, very informative session, and I can still see about 40 to 50 people on Zoom and in YouTube also. And this speaks about the credibility of the speakers and of the session. And you see, even my last patient today was 1 year, 3 months old child, not taking food and those things. And mother was saying, I give 7 to 8 times of milk to the child at 1 year, 3 months. I was telling her, நீ மில்க் குடுக்கறதுனால தான் பாப்பா வந்து மத்த சாப்பிட மாட்டேங்க முதல்ல மில்க் வாங்குறது நிப்பாட்டு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு there was an argument between me and the mother. So this is a day-to-day routine, day-to-day affair in every pediatrician's clinic. And such types of informative talks by experts in this field will definitely will take us and one step, as Madam told and Dr. Pramod Jog usually tell, if you want to big pediatrician, if you want to have big money in your pocket, you should have a good knowledge of B, breastfeeding, immunization, and growth and development. And today, the first one third of the part is done by Professor Somashekar and Professor Elizabeth, Madam. Thank you for sparing your time, and over to Subbu to conclude.
Thanks a lot, sir. Professor Somashekar had done a very good advocacy and had done a very passionate advocacy for all of us to take up from both as individuals, practitioners, and also as a community as a whole. I would now request Nisha, our treasurer, to kindly give the vote of thanks. Nisha ma'am, are you there?
If there are any questions, I think you can just look up at the chat box if there are any
Yes, sir.
questions.
I'm just looking at it, sir.
Questions were not there, sir. Everybody, because you have covered everything. Not even a single point was left. I liked the madam's that slide of having that teddy bar dosa and spider dosa and beer dosa. So those things are very attractive. And first, the eye should have a good look. Then only the taste comes and the smell comes. If Nisha is not there, Subbu sir, you can
Yes, sir.
conclude with the.
So I would like to thank the speakers.
All the dosas were made by only madam for her grandson.
Grandchildren.
Grandchild.
Okay.
So it's a multi-sensory input, sir. Yeah. It's indeed a great honor to thank Dr. Elizabeth and Professor Somashekar for enlightening us so much about this important topic, which is a day-to-day topic for all of us. I would like to also thank all the IAP members who have joined us today evening, taking the time off their family time and joining us for this important meet. I'd like to thank all the IAP CCB members, the president, the treasurer, and all the EB members who have contributed to this program, and not just this program, the whole Complementary Feeding Week and the day that we are celebrated and we are continuing to celebrate. I hope we are able to reach more pediatricians, and I hope we are able to implement at least partially at least of what Dr. K. Elizabeth and Professor Somashekar have told us, so that we are able to take this to the community of children that we have. Thank you all. We'll meet you again. Until then, goodbye.
The
Thank
YouTube recording will be available in our YouTube channel, madam.
Yes.
I'll also share the link in our official group so that more people keeps viewing this talk and will be very practically useful for them. Thank you, madam. Thank you for staying till the end to our. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you,
Good
sir.
night.
Thank you,
all.
Dr.
Good night.
Somashekar.
Thank you, madam. Thank you,
madam.
sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.